Hello everyone. It's been an extremely long time since I posted my gastric bypass surgery, my pre-post gastric bypass journey when I was on the liquid diet, when I was buying all of my proteins, everything that I needed prior to surgery. And I was expecting to record my journey after my surgery, and give you guys live updates and every kind of walk with me throughout every step of the way. But to be honest, it was hard to record and through this new process that I went through. But I'm here today doing like a little Q&A about any thoughts or regrets or anything that I can recommend for you guys. It has been, I want to say, a year and some change. Definitely some change. I had my surgery June 1st of 2022. And so I am a year and June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January. So I'm a year and 7 months post-op. I can stand up here, kind of see, squish back. How's it going? In total, I have lost 117 pounds. Is it 117? I lied. I think it's 117 pounds. You see, it's just life be lifing at this point. I did have my binder of kind of all of the things that I went through in my journey, and especially, I know you guys want to see the numbers, my weight chart. So I started at May 8th, 2022. This was before my surgery when I started the liquid bypass, actually. I was 292.2 pounds. And I'll write it right over here. 292.2 pounds. And on the day of surgery, I was 280. So that means from the liquid diet, I was able to lose a good, probably, not good with math, but I went from 292 to 280. That's a good 12 pounds off. And at the end of it, right, from 280, then I had my surgery. Then, they say not to weigh yourself, but day 4 from my surgery, I weighed myself and I was at 260. So that means from the surgery itself, from me coming home, now of course not being able to eat, the pain was a little bit off, and we'll have that story in just a moment. I lost an additional 20 pounds, right? So let's go back. I am Jerica. I initially had the gastric bypass surgery because at the age of 18, I was diagnosed with polycystic ovarian syndrome. I have always been on the bigger side when I was younger, not because of the way I ate, it was because of my hormone imbalance. And I'm gonna go a little bit in depth, probably some TMI, but I think this would be a good thing to know, especially if you're thinking of having surgery, due to kind of like not being able to lose weight and not knowing why. I was diagnosed with polycystic ovarian syndrome at a very young age, and at the time my mom and I were having Obamacare. And with Obamacare, of course, I didn't have the greatest doctors, so They didn't go any further than the diagnosis, try to put me on hormone pills, trying to put me on, what is it? Birth control pills, and on different type of steroids to induce a menstrual cycle, right? So I also had, I didn't have a menstrual cycle. And that was from the age of 16 when they were starting to figure out like, hey, she's 16, boobs are developed, everything's developed. I started getting hair in my face, but still no period. And so at the age of 21, when I finally got off my mom's insurance and I started working independently, I said, mind you, all of those years I'm still trying to figure out. I called myself like the lab rat because I tried every little thing that the doctors tried to prescribe me to induce a menstrual cycle. From there, I was able to get my own insurance, and I started off with Blue Cross Blue Shield and then United Healthcare. And I was able to get the higher end endocrinologists, the higher end OBGYNs, in which my insurance allowed them to go more in depth with the ultrasounds, with MRIs, CAT scans, everything to try to figure out what's going on. I have a history in my family where my mom and my grandmother suffered from fibroids. And then on my father's side, it seemed as though my cousin also had polycystic ovarian syndrome, but she was able to have menstrual cycles. And to me, I didn't have the menstrual cycle whatsoever. So from there, they put me on a rigorous diet in a sense of basically fuck all the medications and try to lose as much weight as possible naturally. Because that was kind of it. That was it. At that point, the doctors were just like, either you're just not going to have your period, that means you can't have kids, or we can just go completely just the herbal way. And so I got a personal trainer. I was able to lose 40 pounds with the personal trainer, but then my body stayed stagnant. He figured out prior to me losing the 40 pounds that for me and my PCOS, that cardio wasn't the best for me because it would retain my water weight. He had me basically build muscle, so having my body eat as much fat as possible. I lost the 40 pounds, and then I stayed stagnant for 5 months after, meaning nothing. No more weight loss. I was actually gaining weight, and it was just, I'm paying for this personal trainer. I'm paying like $300 a month, and I'm going to the gym. I'm buying all of the right foods, and then just nothing. So I ended up, he actually recommended kind of like going into depth as to what are the new things that are out there for PCOS. I am a behavioral therapist. I work with children with autism. And ironically, around that same time, I was working with a family where the mom was actually getting a gastric sleeve. And I never ever heard about none of that. I didn't even know like if that was even like a possibility for me. It never crossed my mind. But she had United Healthcare, which I had United Healthcare. I was taking care of her child, so like I was at her house all the time, and I saw the journey that she went through. She had the surgery, her approval process, even her liquid diet process. And I was like, what? Okay, shoot, if I, can't have a menstrual cycle, then of course I want to lose this weight. I've been trying to do it. So let's go see. Contacted my insurance, as she said, and the insurance was like, well, it seems like you're pre-approved basically with everything that you're saying and your history and all of that. So I went through that process. I was living in Orlando at the time, and I started the bariatric journey. When I met with the bariatric doctor, he did recommend the gastric bypass because he had patients that had polycystic ovarian syndrome without menstrual cycles. And he stated that it seems to have a correlation where it reverses everything, where your body is no longer trying to fight everything else that's going on in the stomach lining, because he stated that my stomach had a lot to do with the processes of the distribution of my hormones and everything. So that's when he recommended the gastric bypass, and I was terrified. And I just knew that I really one day would love the opportunity to have a child. So I was like, you know what? I tried everything in the books. If my insurance is willing to cover for it, then just why not? So I went through the journey. So from May 8th, 2022, once again, I was 292 pounds, and all of this is recorded, right? So the day before surgery, I was 280. The 5 days after surgery, I was 260. And from July 10th, right, all the way down to January, February, March, April, May 21st, 2023, I was 174 pounds. From May 21st, 2023, I stopped just the chart itself because I noticed I was getting a little bit obsessive with each time, like just the weight in general. And I focused more on just enjoying the new me. And from there till this day, right now, I'm 171 pounds. And I'm basically been stagnant from May 21st till today, which is June, 10th? Sorry, no, January 10th, 2024. Yep, drinking coffee. Do I regret it? No. I regret that I didn't do it sooner. There has been a lot of changes, just mentally, emotionally. Thank goodness I have a very supporting spouse. My wife has been with me through every step of the way. Now, let's get to the nitty-gritty. What is the nitty-gritty, you may say? The nitty-gritty is, why didn't I record my journey anymore? I was going, I had a couple of videos, and I was like, I can do this, let me do this. I figured out that the Jerica before was super excited and a little bit nervous about the journey that she was going to embark on. And the day that I had the surgery, it dawned on me that Jerica kind of passed away. She was no longer there. It's literally a new, different journey. It's a level up, I would say. I'm in a different frequency, a different mindset, meaning I am no longer fixated on my PCOS, because PCOS was my life trying to figure out who, what, when, where, how, why. And I was just like, I need to just let life go with the flow after my surgery and enjoy what's happening now. The weight is off. The weight will be going off because I have the help with the gastric bypass. Besides me following everything that I had to do and still follow everything, basically enjoy the new me. So the day of surgery, I was there prior with my wife. Everything really happened quickly. They prepped me, and I woke up with my wife next to me eating Subway. That's all I could remember. I don't remember going into the operating room. I don't remember Absolutely any of that. All I remember was me getting prepped because that's when they were doing like setting up the IVs. They give you this shot that I don't know what the name of it is, but it makes your whole body burn for literally like 2 seconds. And I was like, oh shit, we're doing something real. Like even my wife got scared at that point because I was just that feeling. I woke up and first thing was first, the nurse was like, all right, I need you to get up because you need to walk and I need you to get up. And I was like, whoa, can I even catch my bearings? And she was just like, you need to stand up and we need to get as much gas out of you as possible. And mind you, I wasn't feeling the pain just yet. I was just feeling like a little uncomfortable. But what I remember most about that day was when it was time for me to get up, I had a faja, which was a girdle on, and the girdle, the nurse didn't put it tight enough because, mind you, you're in the table, all of your organs have been moved and messed around, air has been pumped in. So when I got up, everything dropped down, literally everything. I felt all of my organs drop, and I caught my breath like I was looking at my wife like, oh my God. And that's when the pain really started because she was supposed to secure the girdle from like the bottom up and put it as tight as possible, but she didn't put it tight enough. And that was, I think, what hurt the most out of everything for that moment. But other than that, Orlando Health Hospital did a very good job with medicating me, with going all of my needs, giving me all of the popsicles in the whole world, all of the popsicles, and the medication for me not to feel as much pain. They gave it all to me. And I was like, let me get it all. I don't care. Give me all of it. I stayed there 2 days just to make sure because I also, with my PCOS, believe it or not, 2 days after surgery, I got a menstrual cycle. I got my period, and I got really scared that there was something internally wrong because I started bleeding a lot. And they tested like the blood, and it was just a menstrual cycle happening. That means my body completely went on. I don't know what triggered it. It did something, and ever since then, ever since June 1st of 2022, I started having my menstrual cycle and still have my menstrual cycle monthly. I'm experiencing new moves of PMS, all of that, and I feel great. When I got home, my mom was there and we started on the liquid phase of introducing, liquids and then purees and then a little bit of solids. And so I was eating a lot of lentil soups, protein shakes, but the lentil soups was just basically because we needed the protein from the lentils, and it was just very lightly seasoned. I'm very Hispanic. My mom makes really good lentils, and so I was just drinking as much lentils as possible, but I barely could fit like 3 spoonfuls in my mouth without just feeling uncomfortable because it was just my tummy was still sore. So that was that from what I remember. If you guys have any questions of anything, just go ahead and comment. I will be more than happy to answer all of your questions because I have a lot of answers and knowledge as to what happened. It's just I need the questions in order to answer it, to give you guys the information that is needed. And so with that, I was up and walking about probably like 4 days later. I was home for a whole month. Thankfully, I was really blessed to be home and being catered to and taken care of, and was able to just focus on healing. And it was funny because the first 5 months after surgery, because they instill like how you're supposed to eat, you shouldn't be doing this because it could stretch this or you can hurt this or blah, 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 blah. It's an experiment. you will know how much you can consume by the feeling you get. It is the feeling after surgery of when your body can't anymore. It gets really tight, right? So basically wherever the new stomach pouch that they made, it gets extremely tight and it basically kind of closes up. And when you eat that last bit of food, it will stay kind of like just here. And you're just like, oh, okay, I'm full. After about like I want to say like good 7 months later, I started getting the hiccups, the nose little drip when you're full, or just sleepiness. When I get really full, I gotta go to sleep. It's just my body shuts down and it's just like, I gotta go to sleep. And I was very strict on my sugar intake, my protein intake, making sure I'm drinking all of my proteins, making sure I do get all of my vitamins. Now that I'm a year and 7 months out, I can say that the protein shakes, I'm supposed to drink two protein shakes because it reaches 60 grams, right? Yeah, grams of protein, but I'm able to eat a little bit more now. So I try to get that in meats, and in any other source of eating wise, because I didn't want to get fixated of just drinking protein alone, right? Because there's not a lot of good quality protein out there. Even when you start doing, your due diligence, yes, it supplies you with what you need, but to live a sustainable lifestyle, let's say God forbid you don't have your hands on like protein shakes, or you can't afford spending tons of money, or like the protein shake that I really love is Fairfield and Fairlife, and Fairlife isn't always available. So I try to look for protein in other ways. So that is that, and just making sure you find the proteins that you want. You do lose an incredible amount of weight, and I will tell everybody there, don't get crazy on buying clothes. Because the clothes you buy 2 months after your surgery is not going to fit you the next month. So I went, because my job was also aware of my surgery, I went on complete bummy mode. I stayed with my extra large clothes probably, you're gonna probably laugh, but almost a year out. I started then buying clothes. And then after a full year, I threw away all of my bigger clothes because I'm no longer a double X. I now fit in mediums. So now I'm a medium. My panty size went from like torrid from like 2-3 to now I fit on a medium, just on a regular like panties from Heinz, from Target. I fit a medium. So I am a medium from shirts and bottoms everywhere. I'm a medium everywhere. My boobs completely disappeared. I went from being a G to being I want to say I'm a good D cup, probably C. Going from a 46, I fit a good 41. If I want tighter, I can. This bra barely fits me anymore, but because my underlayering is very tight on me, I can grasp, and it makes me feel like I have boobs, but they all disappeared. It's all super flat. Now, one thing I do want to do and share, because I was very curious after like the surgery of how your wounds heal up, right? So I will show you guys. Now, I have stretch marks, right? I mean, I weighed 300 pounds, so I have stretch marks everywhere. So don't be alarmed of the stretch marks. These are underlayers because I recently moved to Texas and it's cold. So this is one of the incisions that they did over here. And I will roll it. These are one, this is one over here. There was one under my belly button, and one over here. Well, two over here. Yep, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now, if I stand up, this is all of the weight that I have lost. To say it is not, girl, when I may not feel sexy, I don't mind it. I go ahead and I have my underlayers. And yeah, this is pretty much it. Am I going, oops, sorry, wrong way. Am I going to want any other surgeries? Nope. The only surgery that I will probably do is for my breast, and it is just to cut off all the extra skin because they're pretty low and just kind of do a lift. But other than that, this over here, don't care for it. My thighs, don't care for it. I did my surgery for a reason, and that was to get a menstrual cycle to one day if I want to have kids. So feel free to ask me any other questions. I owed you guys a video. It's been long overdue. So yeah, this is the new me. I love it. And I think I will be doing a video about just like the mental health process that I went through, and really just opening up to you guys the mental struggles I had before versus now. Because I will say, I was super fixated on my weight the 2 years prior to surgery, that I then became fixated on the weight loss. And then something beautiful had happened, and I realized, you know what? After my surgery, like, I did it. So what now? And I was like, I don't know what else to do now. And it was just enjoying me. And I'm still learning how to enjoy me and kind of see like, whoa, I look a little different. My makeup looks a little bit different. Like, what can I do to change up my style? Or I felt prettier now wearing some clothes that I never really felt comfortable wearing, like little crop tops and stuff, and like opening up my wardrobe and finding my style. And yeah, ask away. Bye, y'all.